Canon Brawl is a 2-player 2D game. It's on the touch table that we have as a department, and it has similar mechanics to Angry Birds in the sense of you would tap on a cannon to pull back, have that little aiming sprite, and then hit your opponent. So the 2 players are playing head-to-head, trying to sink each other's ship. You play as Team Human Pirates and Team Shark Pirates, and then you get some little customization assets, so then you can really have a rad-looking ship. The ships are going to be kind of moving, and we're thinking about putting in some power-ups as well, just to make the game really interactive and dynamic.
How are you feeling about user testing coming up? Like, what stage are you in for that? Do you have more to develop for user testing coming up in the next week?
I think based on what my interactions have been on our programming team, a lot of our mechanics are in a workable state. I think most of it's going to come down to making it more interactive and comfortable for the player itself.
Got it.
So we are in a good solid stage working towards making things from good to great.
I'm feeling really good about the state of our project. I certainly enjoy the opportunity to work in such a large team. I've never been in a project to scale like this before, where there's separate divisions. Like, we have an art team, we have a UX team, we have a design team, we have animation teams. We have all these separate teams. So I'd say it's been a little difficult in the sense of communicating between teams. I think our communication could certainly be a little bit better, but it's been a heavy learning experience for me.
So what are you guys working on right now over here? What's all this about?
Well, this past week we've been instructed to work on playtesting forms, user testing scripts and whatnot, as well as developing a logo for our team in general, Fantasy's future.
Got it.
I am Kyle Manning.
And I'm Jason Jack.
Okay. And you were both in programming on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So, you're programming this in Unity. How is the Unity to touch table sort of deal?
It was fun because Avery did a really nice job of making it work for mouse, and then immediately after we got it on the touch table, it was like, yep, nope, it doesn't work for touch table. So we had to go back in, take the code that worked for mouse, and reconfigure it for touch table. As someone who appreciates change and the ability for innovation to improve quality of life, I can clearly say that this is significantly worse than the old one. Please give me Collaborate back.
The basic explanation for that being that when it works from mouse, despite that the screen can register and Unity recognizes each touch input as separate inputs, every time you touch the screen, so say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time you're touching that, it's causing the mouse to move. So it's this is where the mouse is now. Now the mouse teleports over here. And so the way it was working originally, whenever a person put another finger on screen, it would move the mouse, and all the cannons were just following the mouse.
Okay.
As an overall, I'm feeling pretty good with the work in progress on the project, but I definitely agree, switching to Plastic SCM instead of Collaborate. Plastic SCM, I really don't like.
So FuseBox is an app created to show off the behind-the-scenes work of the students at Bradley so that employers and prospective students can get a better feel of what we actually do on a day-to-day basis and what actually goes into creating interactive experiences.
Yes, I'm the team lead. I kind of also do a couple other just assorted things. We've been working on implementing UI into our app. We're also working on generating QR codes, since QR codes are a large part of how you navigate through the app, through the experiences. So right now we're working on getting QR codes generated for each of the little little experiences we have.
Yeah.
And we're going to be implementing that shortly, because we already have the QR scanner working in the app. Now we just needed to actually point to where we needed to go, so we need to generate all the different things for that.
The worst part has been Xcode.
Yes. We've been having chronic issues with actually building to a phone because of issues with Apple's proprietary software. Just,
I'm Nick Guy.
What's your role on the team?
So I am actually the UX UI lead for the team.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Awesome.
I've been really happy with how the design process has been going. It's taken the whole team to really put this together Haley's done a lot, along with Callie, and Michael's been great in making sure that we're on top of our stuff and kind of staying on schedule. So right now we're just kind of getting those like finishing, polishing touches for what we want the UI to look like stylized. Like that's what we're working on today. And so going forward, we'll be discussing a team, what we like, what we don't like, changes, things like that, and then implementing those with the programming team.
Yeah, what are you working on right now?
So currently, we've kind of come up with the whole UI layout and everything, how everything's gonna be organized. And this session, we're kind of working on the style of the application, any illustrations, things like that we need to work on that we can pass off to the coders and they can implement into Unity.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the UX process has actually gone really well so far. We got everything hammered out really quickly. We have a lot of UX people, like as compared to other teams, so it was really easy for us to get a good idea down quick. Now they're actually just in the process of implementing it into Unity and making it actually functional. And fortunately, we have Nick, who is someone who's worked in Unity before, which is really important to have like on a UX team.
What's your role on the team?
I joined as a UX person because, it's an app, they need a lot of UX help with it. But now I am fully into more of an art role, because we also need a lot of art assets for the
What
app.
kind of art assets do they need?
FuseBox actually is going to be consisting of a lot of mini games, a mini game for after each experience, so they need a lot of art assets for the games itself, and then also a lot of app assets, just like buttons and app designs and stuff like that.
We kind of had like a major leadership shift where our current team leader stepped down. So we had to kind of skip a week in the Fuse production class, and we have 2 sets of back-to-back 2-week goals to do. I originally signed on to the team Constellation Research because I've always really loved mythology, aetological reasoning, stuff like that. Like, why did this star go here? Why did the seasons happen? Most of it you can find in the stars. So that's why I joined. That being said, once I did my work and did all the research, figured out what we were saying, narrating, I believe you're actually the voice actor, narrating over each experience, I didn't really have a whole lot to do. I was only secondary on the UX team. So when Jacob had to step down, I was one of the people he asked, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really doing anything else for this team right now. So it worked out where I didn't have a whole lot on my plate, and I was able to step up and take on way more.
Yeah, so you want to tell us your name real quick?
Yeah, my name's Nick.
Your name's Nick. Awesome, nice to meet you.
Early on, I wasn't sure of my place in the team. I'm a freshman, so I haven't built up a lot of programming or design skills quite yet. But I managed to find a niche that I can kind of help out in the team. And recently it's been getting better as I've been, having a place and been able to contribute in my own way.
Yeah, so what's the Constellation Research all about? Because you're making a game about showing all the constellations in the purest sky line and teaching people about them, right?
Yeah, so our goal is to give people walk away with a sense of what the constellation is about, what the story behind them. So what I've been doing is mainly just researching and then taking that research and putting it into a story and just editing them down to make sure that they're short enough to fit into our experience.
I kind of joined, I wasn't here from the beginning and stuff, so I think I took over for someone else, and I feel slightly behind personally, but I feel because I started a bit late.
My only problem so far has just been inconsistent communication. I had the time to do stuff, but there was no one communicating what needed to be done, or what the focus of getting what we need to be focusing on. And it seems like Colin's really stepping up and is doing a really good job, so I'm really hopeful for the future.
Wait, so can you tell me your name?
My name's Tyler Collender. Music's been going well. Sound effects have been kind of going slowly, and I think there's been a little bit of miscommunication in the sound team because I'm not really sure who my other team members are. Had a bit of a breakdown with just communication, but I think it's going pretty well otherwise.
So you're the sound designer for this, right?
Yeah.
So what all sound needs to go into it? Because you're mainly looking at this guy, right? So,
Yes, a lot of the sound is, well, we have like a simple like background sort of music, and we really want you to feel like you're on the outdoors looking up at the sky. So, wind coming from either direction, maybe like an owl, like leaves rustling, some various, like I want to shake it up a little bit, make it sound like it's not just the same thing droning on and on.
So our game is called End of Feline. It's a 4-player game, so you will be working together to defeat a boss cat. And you play as magical wizard cats, defeating a bigger magical wizard cat. The point of the game is you will have a QR scanner where you can point and click. It almost looks like the thing that you would find at Walmart. Cards that have spells and elements. You want to try to combine the two in order to make the most powerful spell possible to defeat the boss within a certain time limit. I mean, I was being truthful there. We have about 50% of the art done. The art team is really ahead of schedule. So I really don't have any complaints. The only thing I wish would happen is that we have a Discord chat where I've asked the art or our animation kids to just kind of throw in what they've been working on through the week. That's been a little bit hard to get them to do.
Yeah, I would say it's going very smoothly right now, especially for the art team. We've been able to pretty much stay on task. Everyone's been able to hit it on the head with like their own like personal stuff that they need to get done. And Scott has been a great art lead, just been able to kind of boost everyone's spirits when they're getting pretty low and worried. So for that, I can really be appreciative of that. And I've just been having a great time, honestly. I get to experiment with a lot of tools like Illustrator, Photoshop, get to like animate a lot, which is like my big thing. So that, I'm very passionate about and really excited to be on board for this team to do.
I'm really enjoying working on the project. I think it's really fun to see my work go somewhere. It's really nice to collaborate with everyone too. I really like the team. It's a really fun experience overall, so I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, so Rhythm Rumble, so it's like a dance fighting game. So we have these really cool characters. We have Nikki, who's kind of hip hop, and then Tanya, who's ballet. And players will use dance mats to match with arrows and a specific chart of those. And when they match, they get more points, and then the player has the most points at the end wins the round. So it's fighting, but also rhythm and dance based. Yeah, so I think overall we're doing really well. We were having trouble for a while keeping up with the animations that we needed to do, but our lead animator was able to find a freshman who was able to help out. So hopefully that alleviates our art team a little bit.
As a team lead, how's it going so far?
Things are going pretty well. We've had a lot to do the past few weeks, but our team's really stepped up and done really well, and we all work together really well, which is cool. So.
I'm Tristan Stump. I'm an animation major here at Bradley, and working on the art team has been a lot of fun. I feel like the project is going relatively well. There was a little hiccup at the start of the semester with getting everyone on track and the art team communicating and stuff. But we pretty quickly got on top of things. So, every project has that little moment of wanting to rip your hair out and, shout to the heavens how you wish you hadn't. But, I'm enjoying myself and things are going well and smoothly. So, yeah.
You talk about characters. How many are you thinking of having? And you talk about a lot of expressions and whatnot. How are you trying to differentiate them?
At the moment, we are only planning on 2. That way it can be, 1v1. Mm-hmm. If we're lucky, we might get more. But we make them different by having each be a unique type of dancer or fighter. Our 2 characters at the moment, one is this kung fu break dancer girl, and then the other is a buff Russian ballerina lady.
I am Hayden Huber. I am a UX major, and here for Rhythm Rumble, I am working on our menus, logo, and just some art in general.
Honestly, I'm really excited about it. Especially, it's really cool to see everyone else's work. But for me personally, I love what I do so much. So when I'm actually like making it and it's coming together, there's nothing that feels better. It's just really cool to see it all happen, and yeah, I'm having a really blast with it.
So you're a UX person. How many are like on your UX team, or is it just you, or just how's that like?
So it's me, it's Reagan, our head. She's also a UX major, and then it is 2 other people.
I gotcha. So you got at least some people to
Oh
work with.
yeah, we got feedback. We got it all going.
Yeah, that's good that you actually have people to work with and it's actually coming to life. Because we're interested to see how it's gonna go.
Next time on Fuse Plugged In.
It came down to either everything is in AR or nothing is in AR.
Really excited to see where it's going, and recently over the past few weeks I've gotten a lot of design work and we're finally getting to like see something come together, which is really exciting.
So it feels a little awkward. It's kind of like, at this point, it's kind of like bearing part of your soul. Like, I put my heart and soul into this. Please like it.